And I see Marcia's not going to be here tonight either. So if she wants to, but I'll only send it just to those two people because I like the conversation to flow. And when people are being recorded, they don't really want to speak. So this is going nowhere, just to Dorothy or to Marcia if those two ask for it.
How come we see two of David?
Because David has to show off.
Can you hear me?
David.
Where did Jerry go?
We can hear you.
I just noticed Jerry disappeared.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. I was just ready to say, there he comes back.
There he comes back.
Hey, it was a disappearing act. Look at him in his beautiful blue Florida sky.
Is that by me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Look at him.
Danica.
It's
Jerry,
beautiful evening.
Jerry, tell them about the house you live in.
Well, it's sitting on now with direct access to Intercoastal River, to the ocean.
That's not what I mean.
It's,
Tell them when the first time you lived in that house.
oh. Well, I went to high school here.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad bought it in 1965, and then he sold it in late 66. And then we bought another house here on Merritt Island, and then wound up selling the big house that he bought. And this one was for sale, so we wound up buying it back in 1974.
I didn't know that part.
Wow.
Yeah. So then we've been here ever since. And then they moved away and rented it for about 15 to 20 years, I guess. And then when they we lost both of them in 2002. And my sisters didn't want anything to do with the place. All they wanted was the money out of it. So I had to get it appraised and then buy them out of it. And then it had a lot of work that needed to be done and so forth. So we just kept it as a second home until last year. And then we moved over here from Orlando. And, but, it's nice. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 bath with a pool. Sits right on the, real tropical because we're just 5 miles from the beach. But it's.
What's it feel like living back in the house you grew up in?
Well, it's funny because, it's the thing about living in this, you're so comfortable because, you have the memories of having Christmas here, your birthday and your bedroom, that your grandson that's living with me is sleeping in,
Yeah.
So, it's nice. It's different, but it's nice being back over in this area because I run into people that I went to high school with, and I knew because we lived here after I got out of high school for a long time. And I run into people in stores and things like that where I would not have done that in Orlando because you didn't have that younger experience.
Yeah.
With a lot of the people that you still see.
Now Jerry complained a lot because he had a big house and he moved back to a house that wasn't quite so big. His knees are like sitting in, right, Jerry?
The big problem is we took a 3,000 square foot plus house and stuffed it into 1,700 square feet. And this thing was built in 1965. My master bedroom closet is 3 by 6. So I got 18 square feet of closet space, and I had a master closet that was the size of one of my bedrooms.
So that was readjusting.
It's taken a little bit of adjustment to get to, and now Marion's talking about maybe moving back to Orlando and finding another bigger house.
Aww. This was her idea.
This was her idea to move over here because, nobody wanted to sell the family home,
Yeah.
because, I have pictures of my kids swimming in this swimming pool when they're 4, 5, 6 years old, and pictures of my grandchildren swimming in this swimming pool, when they're 4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted it to disappear,
Very special memories.
Yeah.
Jerry, we were talking last week Who was kind enough to tell us their story last week? I forget. Do y'all remember who it was?
What
Yeah,
was
you
the
were
story?
It was Colleen. It was Colleen. She was telling us about, driving for the general and stuff like that. You retired from AT&T, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with them well 2 different times for a total of 30 years
All right.
and changed, a little bit more than that.
We're just talking. Jan's going to be married 50 years
Hmm.
next month, right?
Wow.
All right.
Congratulations.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were,
Quite an accomplishment.
yeah, we
Oh
were
my
married.
gosh.
Yeah, we just did 40 in February.
Yeah. We saw the pictures where y'all went to Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 50 years, then that's, it's funny, and I tell people this a lot, and I think I told Connie. I remember when my grandmother went to her 50th high school reunion. Okay, and I remember it vividly, and I don't know why. Other than the fact that I didn't think that anybody could ever be that old. Well, this year's my 50th high school reunion.
You have grandkids that probably feel the same way now.
And they probably do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was so traumatic for me. I don't know. I can't even remember what she was wearing the night that she went to that. Now,
Oh my
why would
gosh.
you do that? I can remember the little gray suit and the little hat and the whole bit, But, I just didn't think anybody could be that old.
Yeah.
But,
Guess what? You made it.
yeah, that's for sure.
So David, you know everybody.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yep.
You know everybody in
Okay. Let me see who all in there.
see who all's in there, he said. It's Don, it's Carol, it's Rhonda, and it's Jerry.
Get the gallery view.
Oh, yeah.
For one.
Well, I think there's people
I
here.
think it's my first time seeing Jan.
Yeah.
Hi, Jerry.
I think I know everybody
David.
else.
Yeah. David, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself so they can get familiar with you?
Well, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I spent 23 and a half years in the Air Force. Retired now. I travel all over the world, of course, while I was in the service. And I think that's just about it. I enjoy life.
I enjoy life.
Good for you.
David's a really big help. He has she's a client, Mary here, that got very grave news about her husband, and David actually offered to drive them back home to where?
To New Jersey.
To New Jersey, and and help them get back up here. And David has helped me when I've been in a situation helping people. He's always just a phone call away, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Yeah. Don,
Well, you treat people the way you like to get treated.
there you go. That's a good rule. Don, talk to us about you and how you're doing, and you always have such great encouragement for all of us. I know you might not make it through the whole call, so let's let you have your little piece now before.
Oh, yeah, I don't. My voice keeps cutting in and out. I'm doing well. I'm sticking with. I'm playing with food. I can't do as much exercise as I want to. When I'm having attacks all day long, because that makes it way worse. But I'm just plugging along. In the last 10 months, which was before we started on the meltdown, I've lost like 57 pounds so far. So
All right.
Wow.
pleased with that. I have to wear shorts underneath of my jeans because I only have 2 pair of pants that actually will stay up. if I don't wear something underneath of them. So, but I don't want to spend any money buying them until I get down to where I want to. I don't have, so I'm just trying to make do with what I've got till, I get where I want to be. So.
And Dawn, how do you, what's a day look like in your eating and your exercise?
You mean like I usually am up at around between 7 and 8, and I I like to have oatmeal for breakfast, and then every 2 to 3 hours I have something, a protein and a carb, and I do salads. I do a lot of salads and vegetables. We had a Parmesan. Mom made like a roasted Parmesan cauliflower. You had a little bit of olive oil, and I add garlic and a little bit of salt, and then the Parmesan cheese, and we'll roast that. Well, I do that with the broccoli also. It tastes really good, and so we do that. And Kim's got the juicer out, so we can do juicing now too. But I mean, for some of my physical stuff, I swallow 3 cloves of garlic a day. It's healthy for my blood and lowers cholesterol and your triglycerides. So,
When you say you swallow them, do you take them like a pill?
yeah. Because most bulbs of fresh garlic have like the smaller ones. If I have to cut some in half sometimes. But yeah, I just swallow it like a pill, and it, you go through blood. It helps with your blood pressure, your cholesterol, all that kind of stuff. And I take all kinds of supplements just because my thyroid not working right, and right now my thyroid medicine is off. So it's making it even harder for me. I need more thyroid, because normally your temperature, my normal temperature right now is running around 95. So it's way too low. So I got to get my thyroid medication increased to bring my temperature back up again. So
95 is low? Oh, yeah, 98's normal.
98.
I had to catch up there for a minute.
95, 96, or 96.8 or 90 up to 97.4 might be normal early in the morning. Don't move. You put it in there and you do it. But to be up and, having exercise, I exercise, like I was telling Carol, the leg ups, the leg outs, and the ankle pumps, I do every single solitary time I drink water. So, by 10 o'clock in the morning, I probably have 300 or 400 of those in.
Oh, wow.
Because I drink 68 ounces of water from midnight till 7 o'clock in the morning.
You drink it at night?
I have to drink it all the time, and especially when I'm having my attacks. So last night I drank a lot. So I went to the bathroom a lot. I was drinking, but I was awake because I was having attacks, and I have to drink more water when I'm having my attacks.
Right.
But I don't usually drink that much at night. But I have to have a bottle of water with me, every night when I go to bed. So
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
No problem.
And we all appreciate everything you do in terms of giving us the benefit of your knowledge. I know I heed it, and I'm sure other people do too.
Yeah, sometimes I get overzealous, but at any time, if somebody doesn't want to hear it, that's all they got to say is, Dawn, we don't want to hear it. Thanks anyway.
So Rhonda, how are you doing with your transition?
Doing good.
What week you in now?
I'm in week 3. Week 3. So I've added Jerry this week.
Can you tell us about your transition?
Yeah, it's I'm getting a little bolder every week.
Yeah.
It's getting more comfortable. Yeah. I am at the point where I need to order product, and my question for you was, they have the new products for maintenance.
Yeah, the Optimal Health products.
Yeah. But you know, those are like 200 calories or 150 calories each. So I
Yeah.
was kind of wondering what are they for when
So
when,
there was
are
a
they
lot, there
they're
was a
supposed
lot,
to be a meal?
yeah. It's a better choice than going to the store and buying what is available over the counter. I've tried all the Optimal Health products, and I prefer the meal replacements to them because I don't like the 200 calories. But we have all gotten used to our 100 calories, and we like them. They're fine.
Mhm.
The thing about upping your calories when you do transition out is it's people don't understand. I bet Don would have something to say on this, that it is as important to eat enough calories as it is to not eat too much calories, because a lot of people can run on less calories, but it just makes your body work harder, and you can't up your calories so fast once you've been eating 1,000 calories a day. That's what we do when we're on the program. So adding that 100 calories allows your metabolism to start speeding up again to accommodate a larger amount of calories. And when you get to your calories based on your exercise and your the weight you want to be, your age and your gender, so reaching that point how many calories are you up to now?
Oh, I'm supposed to be up to 1,300 calories.
Are you reaching that every day?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I do what I'm supposed to do,
okay,
and I haven't gained anything.
right.
And sometimes I lose, but I rarely ever gain. So I bet I'm maybe not,
Yeah.
or just getting there.
Well, Tony is, we got the Fitbits, and I got the Fitbit for me because of how bad I sleep. I just really didn't know how bad my sleep was, and I knew that the Fitbit would let me know that. And I've actually ordered the melatonin from Take Shape for Life, and because I was getting 5-6 hours sleep a night, and once I started really tracking, and I knew I didn't sleep well, and I knew I didn't sleep long, but I thought that this night would make up for that night. And sleep is as critical as everything else that you do. And when I realized how bad my sleep was, then I think somebody in here asked me what I was going to do about it. And so I had to think about that. And so I have supplemented it with the melatonin that Dr. Anderson made in the sleep kit. And now I'm getting full night's sleep. So I think that's probably as important as getting the right amount of calories too. But, you have to play with that. Yeah.
Melatonin's a great way to go.
Say again, Don?
Melatonin is a great way to go for anybody who doesn't get sleep. For me, my breathing is really loud in my head.
Yeah.
So I also use melatonin. I didn't even know Dr. Anderson hit any. But I use melatonin, and I actually had clients and patients that we had, that I recommended melatonin to, because it helps you. It's important. Your organs all have to have that sleep time. There's a specific time for them to rejuvenate, and some rejuvenate when we're awake, but others absolutely have to have it in that time while we're down. So we got to have that sleep for that reason, to help those specific organs that they get to shut down, repair, cleanse, detox, whatever they have to do. They need to do that while we're sleeping.
Yeah. It's when it heals, and it's when it repairs both. Tony has been not getting enough calories, and that's what he uses his Fitbit for, is to make sure he increases his calories. And he said something very similar to you, Rhonda, in that He's eating this way. He's eating this food that's more calories than he's used to eating, but it's the calories he's supposed to eat for his height and his age and his activity level. And the scale is staying right where it's supposed to stay, even though he's consuming more calories, which again shows you how important it is to reach that calorie. You know, he was real worried that he was going to put weight back on.
That's natural.
Yeah, Jerry, you asked, I thought was a really good question in the room about is it 3,500 calories that you have to eat to gain 1 pound?
Yeah.
And then it's 3,500 calories that this is why exercise doesn't work with losing weight, is because it would take a whole lot of exercise to lose 1 pound.
Yeah, you got to burn that 3,500 calories off.
Yeah. So,
did you ever look at a pound of fat? There's a lot there when you look at a pound of fat.
Yeah. And so, David, you commented on that, and I thought all of that made sense. But Jerry, did you have any more questions about that? Because I thought what you were saying sounded to me like you actually had more going on in your head than just what you asked.
He's muted.
Let me unmute him.
He's muted.
There you go. I unmuted you. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm just talking away. No, my question was, if it takes 3,500 calories and you'll gain a pound of fat, why is it I can gain a pound or 2 pounds in a day or two and not eat 3,500 calories? You know, I can gain a pound and not eat 3,500 calories. So,
Well,
I mean, take 2,000 calories, it take 1,800 calories, or is it individually?
I got a little to say. Number one, pounds and calories aren't necessarily the same things. That's like a pound. You have to count whatever fluid you have going on in your body too. It also counts whether or not your bowels are moved and haven't moved, because you can have up to 15 pounds in your large and small intestines that hasn't been voided out of your body.
Right.
So depending on what you eat, and as you're adding it, that's just kind of a gauge to let people know what that is. But that, to answer your question, how you can gain 1 or 2, it depends time of day, or whether or not something may have had a little more salt added to it, or
Absolutely. Sodium's a big thing.
like that would store.
It's a chemical reaction that takes place in your body between what you take in and how your body converts that into energy.
Yeah.
So it's a chemical reaction mainly between the carbohydrates, which is transferred into sugar, and the salt. And that's with the retention of the water or fluids. So that can make a huge difference in your day-to-day fluctuation.
Okay.
So how are you doing, Jerry, with what you want?
I'm just still floating right where I started, because I'm not being constant with the 6 meals a day. You know, because I've got stuff I'm doing and I'm winding up not getting in the 6 meals. I got to be more diligent.
Are you?
What about the water?
Say again?
What about water? He said he was having a problem getting in all of his water. Did you still have any issue with that?
Yeah, I'm not getting all that either.
Well, do you not like water? Because that's why I wrote about the essential oils. And they won't be any calories. They won't count as anything. And they will add flavor to your water. So it's like you're drinking something different than just water. So I don't know if they have them down there, but I mean, I can hook you up if that's something you're interested in.
Well, I use that Mio stuff.
Well, this is a little different because this is pure oils. Like if you were to take a lemon and squeeze the rind of the lemon and it goes onto a piece of paper, that kind of oil. That's what you're getting for your body.
Oh,
And it affects, cleanses cellularly, takes toxins out of your cells. It does all kinds of things for your body beside the fact that it makes your water taste better and you don't feel like you're just drinking water. So
okay.
Doesn't it also accelerate the speed which the water goes through your system?
it depends on which oil that you use. Lemon and orange are really, and grapefruit and the citrus fresh are all great accelerators because they cellularly, they go all the way into the cells of the body and they accelerate the way things are going. Peppermint is a little bit different. It does different things in the body. It actually helps heal and soothe things going in the body. It's great for pain and joints and inflammation. So it depends which one of the oils that you choose, whether or not it's going to do one of those chemical reactions.
Gary, you did this before, and you were extremely successful. You were a model. What's the difference this time and the first time?
It's all of the food that's around me and all the temptation compared to the last time. Because last time I didn't have a refrigerator full of stuff in here. I didn't have 5 chips, 5 bags of chips. I didn't have 6 cartons of Coca-Cola in the refrigerator. You know, it's just the willpower is what I have to try to get myself to leave everything alone.
Was it
That
just the two
challenge
of you?
Say again?
Aunt go ahead.
I was just wondering
didn't
if
say
it was
anything.
the two of you rather than the whole family.
Well, see, I didn't have my
Good point.
grandkids living with me before. So, you know, it was so easy to eat lean and green. And I was working, so I didn't have a kitchen handy 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
You know,
darn kitchen.
I took my lunch with me. I took my snack with me. You know, I didn't have access to everything that I have here.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and boy, that stuff just calls my name. Oh, good Lord.
We wouldn't understand that.
I know.
But I did fight off the ice cream last night.
Listen, last week when we were all talking, we went around and we were saying how different things were received for us. And it was amazing how many things all of us had in common. And during the course of the conversation, Rhonda, I think it was you that said, Jerry said that, or was that someone else? It doesn't matter, about when people were not necessarily supportive about the weight loss. And then everybody remembered about you saying, your friends saying, are you dying, or stuff like that.
Yeah, that was amazing to me because I wound up losing right at 100 pounds. And I went from like 275 to 170 actually. And I would have people come up and ask me if I had cancer. You know, you
I got
okay?
that too.
Yeah, you know, and it's a constant. It was, you know, just about everybody you knew was asking, you know, if you'd lost your health, so to speak. You know.
I
And
got to go, guys. I'm getting noisy.
All right, sweet.
Okay, Dawn.
Coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're almost through anyway.
Okay, good.
Jerry, the reason I'm asking that question is because of I wonder how much that plays into the first time and this time, and I can't see that it wouldn't.
well, I know that after I had lost all that, and people were telling me how terrible I looked, you know, that I did try to put on another 10 or 15 pounds, and I quit getting, you know, you look gaunt, you look, you know, you don't look bad or whatever. So then what wound up happening is, yeah, that picture right there, the side-by-side face pictures, you can see the difference.
Here he is when he started. And I mean, every week he did very, very well. And there he is at his best.
Right. And, you know, if you look at my face, you know, everybody's going, oh, man, what's wrong with you? And I didn't think anything was wrong at the time. But then I put on 10 or 15 pounds. Then what I think happened is my mind just started going, well, you know, 16 pounds won't hurt, 17 pounds won't hurt. You know, if I put on 2 or 3 pounds, I'll take it off. And I would go up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's just been a slow process of putting on 3, taking off 2, putting on 3, taking off 1, you know, where it's just gotten more and more and more. And I can feel like through my stomach and so forth, it's bloated. And I believe it's purely everything swollen up like it was before, you know. And I just have to, at some point here shortly, I've got to start doing what I did before, is, you know, lay out what you're going to eat every day in the morning, take it with you, don't do anything else, and so forth. The other thing I think is different now is the social aspect of being retired and seeing my friends and let's go to lunch, let's do this, let's do that, you know, where I would not do that before because I was constantly staying on this diet. You know, I wouldn't tempt myself by going to Sonny's and getting a barbecue, you know. Where now it's hard to say no when guys are coming, hey, come on, we're going here, let's go, you know. And you can't hardly go there and try to eat a lean and green and then come home and she's got a full meal cooked, you know, and walk away from it. So, you know, that's my cross there as far as trying to make myself.
Yeah, Rhonda said last week that she just kind of hibernates when she's being compliant, just so she doesn't have to deal with other people and that.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to someone to keep them from being impacted by other people's impression to the point where it would change what they were doing? Because obviously other people's comments changed your actions.
I think when you see somebody new that you haven't seen them for a while, I think would be immediately tell them that you've been on this great diet. That would immediately take away the comments and the thought in their mind that, oh, this guy must be sick. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's just when you see somebody that you haven't seen for 3 months or 6 months or even a year,
tell them. That's good advice.
You tell them immediately that you've been on a diet, you know, how do I look, man? You know, man, I'm getting healthy. How you been? You know, that would probably be the easiest thing. When you say, hey, how you doing? You know, and when you greet somebody, you immediately tell them, man, I've been getting healthy. How do I look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this would get them away from the illness thing.
What would be the one thing, the most important thing you would never do if you get back to where you want to be again? What's the one mistake you won't repeat?
Probably thinking that you can control yourself without doing meal replacements and eating lean and green constantly. In other words, I think you can go to a 3 and 3, but you have to control the volume that you're eating. And I think Tony's a prime example of that. Tony eats 6 times a day, but he doesn't eat gigantic meals when he eats, but he eats what he wants to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's gotten himself to where, you know, he watches what he eats, But if he wants to have a pizza today, he'll have pizza. But he won't have it tomorrow and the day after and the day after.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's good advice. That's good advice.
Yeah. But if I can get myself to hibernate, like you say, and lose 20, 25 pounds, then I'll be.
Let's get together, Jerry, and do a structural tension chart on you, and let's make a plan. Maybe if you have a plan, it'll be easier.
Yeah, because I haven't been doing that.
Yeah. Hey, Carol,
Yes.
will you share with us about your trip down here? How long were you here?
I was there for 23 days.
And how long had you been here by the time I made my contact? It was only like 3 or 4 days, right?
Right. Yeah.
Can I share our conversation?
Sure.
And Carol was really worried that she was going to somehow, this was going to like interfere with the great success she's been having in doing this. And I told her to enjoy her vacation. This is a few weeks out of her whole life that she's going to have to maintain sooner or later. This would be a good time for her to watch what happens to her body when she isn't eating a compliant 5-in-1, and then go ahead and tell them the rest of the trip, and then when you got back home.
I did fairly well. I did eat. I tried to do at least 2 MedFast meals a day, you know, my breakfast and if I went out to lunch. One thing I found is I ended up leaving half of everything I had on my plate. I've learned that, and that was something that was really hard for me. But when I went out to have lunch, you know how they give you a ton of stuff, I would only eat half of it. And I found I can do that without a heartbeat. I think I can do it really well. And I didn't gain anything. I came home the same as what I went, which was good. And I was at the doctor today, and I no longer have diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
Did they take you off of the
Not yet. She wants me to, she said the metformin is good for weight loss. I don't agree with her, and I don't take it all the time, but my AC1 is 5.7. I'm normal.
Perfect.
So that was a real shock to me that I got there.
and you got to meet people here?
Yes. I met all of the wonderful people down there that I never knew. I've been there many times, but never got to meet Rhonda or David. And it was a wonderful experience at your house, Rhonda.
Yeah.
Truly memorable to me. The other
great.
thing I found that I was able to, the people I was with were, they don't like you talking about diets a whole lot. You know, you were kind of walking on eggshells. And I kind of got to the point that I could deal with that. That kind of hurt sometimes, you know, but
Yeah.
you kind of toughen up a little bit, you know. And I know that I don't consider it a diet. I consider it a life change. And so, but I think people are afraid, you know, if you're on a diet, they're afraid that you're looking at them and saying, well, why aren't you on a diet, or why aren't you doing something? And it's not I don't find it that way, but I find it very tenuous. Diet is like, you know, that word just sends people in different directions. So
The 4-letter word.
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, the old saying, misery loves company. There's a lot of people don't want to see you get healthy if they not getting healthy.
that's right.
Well, you know,
So misery loves company.
I know we're all guilty of looking to see who in the room is the biggest, you or everybody else. You're looking for someone, at least you're smaller than. I know when I was 249 pounds, I think it was more I hated being the biggest person in the room. But, you know, it happens. What did your friends have to say? when they saw you because they haven't seen you in a while. I know they
They
have
were.
been happy.
Yes, they were very impressed, and they did compliment me on the changes I've made and everything. That was heartwarming to me because I don't see myself that way. I still see myself at 271 pounds, but other people don't see it, and which is good.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new way of life. I mean, it's like a door opening, and you're a whole new person, you know. And it's emotionally, that's a little difficult too. I find to go along with it. There's a lot of emotions that go along with, you know, weight loss and just looking at things differently, food, everything, your whole life.
Right.
But I had a wonderful time, and I'm kind of glad to be home. I've got a lot on my plate at home, but you know, you got to step up to the plate and do what you got to do. So.
Did you get back into the 5-1 yet?
Oh yes, yes.
What day are you on?
I don't know.
Are you in fat burn yet, or do you know?
No, I think I'm beyond that. I think
Okay. What are you doing, David?
I'm getting ready to roast me some chicken in my rotisserie.
Ah.
Put it
That
on
sounds
video.
good.
There it is.
Yeah. So does anyone else have anything they want to contribute? This was really nice catching up with everyone.
Yes, I got a little thing or two, I guess,
Go ahead,
since
David.
I've been
We'll
so
let you
quiet.
You have been.
Well, it's been very nice to hear some of the comments coming from some of the people that you have here. It's nice to see how well educated that people are becoming about their health. You know, we keep looking, well, there's a lot of people keep looking at this as a diet plan, but this is basically about your health. And I'm just amazed at how far people have came about understanding the fact that, you know, being very concerned about their health and getting educated on what they're doing, listen to other people about some of the things that they found that work for them that might work for other people. And that's how we basically advance ahead, you know, get ahead of things. So, you know, by people sharing their experiences and stuff like that right there, because one person downfall might help another person coming up behind them.
Yeah.
So this here has been it's basically amazed me on how much you guys have shared and have learned doing this here journey for ultimate health. So I just wanted to say that, and my hat is off to you.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Hair
So that's
today.
basically what I wanted to say.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
You have come a long
Carol
way.
really enjoyed all the time you spent with her while you were down here. And it's good to have you
Hey.
back in the challenge. And Carol, I'm so glad you made it.
Yeah.
So it's going to
Yes.
be fun.
Mhm.
Jerry?
I also
Uh-huh.
want to say thank you to all of you for this. I love the Zoom, the sharing with you guys and information. It helps me go from week to week, and it's just a wonderful experience.
Now, Jan,
Great
what do
support.
you're not using the MetaFast plan, but you are losing weight. So what does a day for you look like?
I have incorporated a lot of the Take Shape for Life principles into my daily routine. If somebody came up to me and said, "What's your secret for losing weight?" I would have to tell them it would be the 5-in-1
Mhm.
and the water. If you incorporate those two things, I have my own premise on what I think is healthy. I do not use processed food. I try and stay away from as much processed food as I cook. I love to cook. It's a challenge to me to find low calorie, low fat, low sodium, low carb recipes that I can fix that are healthy for my husband and I. He has a heart condition. He had a coronary thrombosis when he was 37 years old, 75. So I think we've done a good job over the years, but it's a constant battle, and that's exactly the way I feel about what's happened since I've joined the challenges. It's been a constant battle, but as you say, I think I've been very successful the last 3 challenges. It's been a good thing for me personally. I've learned a lot. I continue to learn a lot, and that's good. I enjoy that. It's challenging, and anytime you can get information on your journey through life, it's a good thing. And this has been a good thing for me. And you all have contributed to my success. I don't have anybody to thank except you guys, because I know I couldn't have done it without you guys. I know I could not, when I joined August to get started, Dorothy invited me and I dragged my feet, but I got on the program and I committed to it. Well, Connie,
Yeah.
I've been successful.
Yeah.
I've done what I feel in my gut is right. I've done what, the health principles I've learned over the years, and I've incorporated the things from Take Shape for Life that have applied to me. It's been a good thing. It's been nothing but positive, positive, positive.
Yeah. I really love getting in the morning and seeing everybody's comments. I'm glad to, Jerry, you are late at night. Katie's late at night. And I was noticing today that without us trying, we are like in 13 or 14, which Kay asked me the other night. She said, in the coaches meeting, she said, so where did you end in the last challenge? I said, well, I don't really know because we weren't watching that. And I went back and we were 15. And then somebody in our room of coaches said to her, Gay, where did you end up? And Gay said, I think it was 375. So it does make a difference. And I think we have developed the habits of getting in there and getting our information and supporting each other. I think the supporting each other is just as critical as the information that we get. And this time I have actually gone ahead and invited a few other people, at least started the conversation. I know in May, we're supposed to get the majority of our last challengers in here when we had that big chase for the money. But yeah, it's cool. And I really appreciate everybody. And I really love that you show up for the Zooms. I enjoy them too.
Cool.
Thanks, Connie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
David, we're coming to dinner.
You see, it's in my rotisserie.
So why are you cooking so late? Do you eat this late?
Well, Diane, my wife just woke back up and said, I don't smell nothing cooking.
That was cute. All right, guys. Night. We'll be talking.
Thank
All right,
you.
see you later.
Hi, guys.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.